What's up, everybody? It's your favorite mental disorders favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Warbotrons Heavy Noisey, or as you may know him, Brawl. Now, before we get started, I have a tendency to say Brawn and Brawl interchangeably, so I apologize beforehand. The reason why I say mental disorder is because I'm feeling very bipolar about this figure. First impressions, right out of the box, I was in love. Instantly in love. As I got to mess with him, I was still, the honeymoon was still strong. Everything was going well. She was even squeezing from the bottom of the toothpaste, if you know what I mean. Like, it was just perfect. But the more I messed with him, the more I started to feel a little iffy about the relationship. As it continued, I started feeling really unsure about our future. There's a lot of fire. There's a lot of fire in our relationship. It's just, the passion's still there. It's just that there are definitely some wolf tickets involved, if you know what I mean. Without further ado, let's talk about some accessories. He comes with this backpack piece. This cannon bit does come up if you want, that style brawl. I kind of feel like it reminds me more of G1 with it, a little shorter. And this does come off. And, and then we've got two guns that plug in here. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, but I have some problems with all these, and we'll get into that. This piece here does come apart, if I can do it. There. And it's just kind of tension in here, and then this bit plugs into there. And he can hold it, and it does have this handle as well. And then, this plugs into any port. And then this all folds up like this. And this is the beginning of our problems. This folds down, and then this comes up. And this one does the same. Now, stress mark number one. Okay? And the reason why that one's there is because it now has the clearance to do this, but initially out of the box it did not. It would only go down so far, and then this piece, clear plastic piece here, comes up for like a sight. Okay, so it does all this, and there you have that. But be very careful with this, because it does feel fragile. Okay. But we have airbrushing here, which is nice. Fades in from silver to this like darker gray. Got some paint here, paint on the ends. It's all very muted, it's all very military, feels good. Plastic still has that same plastic that Airburst has. It kind of feels like the original Make Toys Giant. Silver here on this gun, and same on that one. And then this part of the tank has some gray paints here, and that's about it. It's a Transformer toy, so of course it comes with one of these, and you can look at that if you'd like. I do not. And it also comes with a bag of these, and we'll get into these in a bit. As well as an instruction book with comic, and the broken English, or the English translation is still just run through the old initial Google Translator and kind of throws caution to the wind. The packaging is still beautiful. However, I would have preferred if they just take it easy on the packaging. I mean, it's definitely the best third-party. It might be the best Transformer packaging I've ever received. But personally, I would like it if they toned down the packaging. They could put this bad boy on a card for all I care, and take down the price, because I'm not feeling $100 on this unit. Let's talk about him a little bit. And we'll just go from top to bottom. So head is on a ball joint, but because of the bit here, you don't really get any down. You get up, and you get side to side perfectly, but you don't really get any looking down. And I kind of like my robots to look down, as you may or may not know. The painting on the face shield is still a little shoddy, just like the face shield painting on Airburst. Like, it's not perfect. Like, the little nose piece isn't painted. But it does have 2 different paint apps, and the light piping is kind of phenomenal. I'm not. Let me see if I can. You know, that gives you a little something, but it's really well done. I wish it would have been purple or red. I'm not sure why they did yellow, but that's what they did. And then we have this chest piece here. We have 2 different paint apps there on that, so that's nice. Shoulders. At first, I was afraid it was going to have a little bit of the old Fans Project Headmasters kind of problem. But it doesn't, because it hinges out there, so you get an awful lot there. And then we have a bicep swivel and an elbow, which almost gets you 90 degrees. Close enough. And then we have the wrist that's on a swivel and articulated fingers there. We have paint on the treads, and that's about it. And let me see how we're doing. No stress marks here. Over there. So that's nice. On this one, same articulation. Oh, but you see my plastic's a little chewed up there, and that's during transformation, and we'll talk about how that happened. And I did it. It's my fault, but I'll give you a heads up so you don't do it. On this side, same thing, but we have, that's 2, count 2 stress marks. So that's a total of 2 so far. And then on the hand, this one's much tighter. There's a stress mark down in here, right below the first knuckle. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but so be careful. I'm probably going to try to take those stress marks out, but we'll see if I have any luck with that. Waist, we got a paint app here and a paint app there, so that's nice. Nice line work and detailing in there. Waist is on a swivel. Okay. Pelvis has a paint apps on it. Hips are on universal joints that don't ratchet, so whatever. And we have a thigh swivel, which is a little, feels like it gets caught up on something. That's that fit and finish problem that was the same on Airburst. And that one's a lot better. And then we have a knee that, due to transformation, gets you anything you possibly need. And paint apps down here. The ankle and feet are my favorite part. This whole piece here, and it's due to transformation, but it's still clever. This whole piece, depending on the mode, you can swivel it here, and then this hinges here, and then you can use your foot, so you can pretty much get them in any stance you want, which is really nice. It's a nice touch. And then it has the ankle spurs here, and then it has this piece of whatever here, so it doesn't look hollow in, and that's a nice touch too. You know, and that's the problem, is that I love a lot of things about this, and then there's certain things that make me very nervous, like all the stress marks. Another thing that makes me nervous is, you see how the hand here has this notch? I'm not sure if you can see that or not. It has a little notch there for the port of the gun. However, the gun has 2 pegs. I know I can get this in there, but I also know it's going to put a lot of stress on this plastic. And it's already got stress marks, so I'm not going to do it. What I may do is shave off with an X-Acto knife one of these pegs here, so that it'll just slip in there. But I'm not going to do that until after Bruticus, because I don't want to do anything that I'll regret later, if you know what I mean. So theoretically he can hold these, but I can't really get him to do it under the circumstances without feeling like I may break the toy. And then you can use all of this however you feel like. You know, I prefer it on the back, but you know, I do like this clean bit here. So let's get him transformed. So to transform him from his fully put together kind of state, really simple, like Airburst, which I'm not opposed to, especially when there's these, you know, these stress marks and everything that make me a little nervous. So first of all, we'll get the arms squared away. Sorry. Straighten them out. Let's get them all. Okay. So we got the arms straightened out, and what you got to do is push them in. Now, this is how mine got damaged. Alright, you hear that tight snap? That's really hard to undo. I tried to get it with a pair of pliers because I couldn't get it back out. And the force that I had to use with the pliers made me drag them across the figure. It was a tactical error. So what I ended up doing was... Alright, I really need to show you guys this. I wasn't going to show it, I was just because I did it off camera after I transformed them. But the problem that you might run into is once you get these two pieces pushed together, is getting them out. And like, I don't think I can get it. So what I did was, this is part of the tread. Take this out, fold it back. Take like a Leatherman type of unit. Get your knife out. Exercise caution, of course. Try to find a good place, usually between this tread and this bump here, to give you the leverage you need to widen it. Just try to keep pressure on it, wedge your knife in, and turn. And that should give you at least that bit of clearance to get the rest out. Oh! And, I think I just caused another piece of stress on it. So this is probably going to be the last time that I transform this guy back and forth. I'm going to be honest with you. So that goes in like that, and then we swivel them up. All right, I keep doing that. So we'll keep it out like this. Now, common sense kind of makes you want to line these up with that, but that's just not the way that tanks really work. So don't do that. So the next step is the feet. You take the kind of the initial heel spur and this, collapse them both. Bring these up. Now you have this. And then start a transformer to spin these around. So bend this back, spin that around. Close that up here. And then these flap back down over the back side of the tank, which really does give a pretty clean finish to it all. I must say, like that's really well thought out. And like those little flaps that cover the hollowness in the back of the actual figure, they fold right up as you do it, so you don't even really need to take them into consideration, which is a nice touch. So this piece that forms like his back comes down and out, and then we'll get the head in. The directions actually don't have you turn it, but I highly suggest that you do. Just turn it like that and then flip it down. And then we'll take this bit, we're kind of trying to wedge the hands in, and then this piece flaps down and kind of holds the two parts together. And then these pieces, now you can hinge them down. And the reason why we wait to the end is because they tab into this little port here. And be careful with them. And the nice thing about this design and transformation is that it's basically two halves, just like every transformer that transforms. And you have this that keeps it together, these tabs that keep it together, and the hand pressure that keeps it together. And that's pretty cool because it does make it feel like a really solid, unit. And then for your tank, undo this, and you can see why I said turn the face around. Otherwise, he's going to be having a little peekaboo action with you. And there. Good to go. Okay, so it doesn't roll. And I'm not really against that because, why should a tank roll? That's not how tanks operate anyway. It does look cool. It does look menacing. It does look G1-esque. You can, do one gun or two depending on your, your sensibilities and what have you. But, it really does. I mean, I don't have any complaints with the tank mode. It's You know, the problems that I have are all, you know, really just nervousness. There's one other thing I need to show you what we have it in this mode. So you remember it came with these bits, and what they do here is they cover up these empty spaces. Okay, so I'm gonna have to mess with these, but basically these two go here, and then these two go here. I got that one. Let's see if I can go two. Let me see if I can fix it off camera. Okay, so I was able to get it. What I did was just move this tank turret, which does have just about, you can finagle it and bring it a little bit out to get the whole 360, but at least gives you side to side very easily. But just by moving it out of the way, I was able to kind of get the point that I needed to kind of put the pressure on it. Just had to put my big boy pants on, so to speak. It's good, you know. It is like, this is not a bad toy at all. It's just like I kind of thought it was going to get better than Airburst. I kind of expected like the little problems they would have for a first company would kind of be alleviated with Airburst, and I feel like it's getting worse. It just isn't what I expected. It would be like, yeah, 2 large cheese, right? Is this right? Are you sure? All right. This doesn't feel right. Okay, maybe not that bad, but it's definitely not what I expected. Let's get him back into robot mode, do some size comparisons, and final thoughts. I guess most importantly would be Airburst or Blast Off. Here is the Fans Project Blast Off, Weird Wolf, Masterpiece, Car. Just for good measure, a deluxe figure, this is the one I have handy. So that should give you a pretty decent idea of size. And I gotta admit, it's really cool to see the two together. It really makes me anxious for the next one, which is Swindle, I think. Final thoughts, I really like him, but he's not really well made. There's a lot of tolerance issues, there's a lot of fit and finish kind of things. Shout out to T2RX6, I love you, buddy. That just don't polish it off. You know, there's a lot that needs to be done that isn't. And they, now, to their credit, they got it out on time. And everybody cries about third-party companies not being able to get stuff out on time. But you know who doesn't? This guy. Because this guy would rather those little problems, those little QC things be fixed than to have this, where I kind of feel like I have to handle it with kid gloves. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm not panicking. I'm not throwing away the set because I really think this thing is going to pay off, and I am really happy with it. It's just how I say that nothing's ever perfect. Well, this is far from it. It's definitely in the good box, but what's good about it is so good, and that's what's its saving grace. The positive elements are so positive that it helps you overlook the parts that make you a little nervous. So do I recommend them? It's kind of up to you, man. I have a hard time saying just flatly yes. Here's the thing. If you're rough, if you're playing with them on the floor, you know what I mean? And I'm not judging. Okay, I'm not judging. But if you're playing with them on the floor, if you're having a go, crashing them about and all that, like, this thing is probably going to fail on you. If you open it up, take a look at the transformation, appreciate it, and put it on a shelf and appreciate it from there, you're probably going to be as happy as I am. So that's my thoughts on it. There'll be no video Wednesday because I did the Transformer movie review, and I just can't be doing all these videos. I love you guys, but I can't be doing all these videos a week. So I'd usually do 3 a week. Transformers I put up Saturday, so that account for Monday, and this account for Wednesday, and then I'll see you guys back here Friday. As always, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.